What a perfect way to start the series. Fire has always been my favorite element used in fiction, so that as well as combined with the cool design as well as the voice and being the first ever alien Ben has ever transformed, Heat Blast certainly has elevated himself to new levels of being iconic. Other than the Tarzan plus dog aesthetic we're going on with Wild Mutt, there's nothing else going on with him. It's just kinda just there. I'm sorry. One of the most versatile aliens in Ben's arsenal, able to go close range, long range, defense, and offense all at the same time while still looking awesome with its cool and beautiful diamond-esque design. Diamond Head is certainly a great alien for Ben's arsenal. First of all, brilliant and creative name, a design that just screams speed, and the mask is just perfection. But the only thing that I don't like about Accelerate is its weird feet wheel thing going on for it. One of the most underrated aliens in Ben's arsenal. Not only is it smart, but also it's really small. It's able to climb through little gaps because of its tiny size. Gray Matter is just a very, very useful alien, and a lot of people should give him credit for it. Plus, his species was the one to create the Omnitrix, so you gotta give them props for that. While there's nothing all too special about Forearms other than his strength and his forearms, he makes up for it for having some of the coolest fights in the Ben 10 series, and for being Ben 10's go-to alien whenever the situation calls for him to be a hero. While not my personal favorite of Ben 10's aliens, I still do really like Stinkfly, as not only is it able to fly, but it's also able to shoot out sticky webs from its eyes, and the Omnitrix being placed in the middle of his face is just really awesome looking, and it has a very distinct voice that really suits this alien, so I gotta give props to that. While I do much prefer Ripjaw's design over Stinkfly's design, as it's a cool mermaid / anglerfish hybrid, I still much prefer Stinkfly overall because of the fact that other than being able to swim, there's nothing really going all too special about Ripjaws, as he's only able to bite and scratch opponents. Also, he doesn't really look like an alien to me. To me, he looks more like a mutant that you would see in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not only does the black and white blob-like body with green highlights really pop off, I also really like how Ben actually takes the alien's name into literal, as Upgrade is literally able to upgrade any technology it manipulates and even be able to do things that the original technology's limitations just couldn't allow it to do. I really love this alien. If it weren't for these Scars arc, I wouldn't think that Ghost Freak would be talked about all that much, mainly because it's not the most unique ghost creature we've seen in media, as it has standard ghost powers other than the tentacles that it is able to draw out. And even then, that arc doesn't really have a satisfying end as much as I wanted it to be. Ever wanted to see a hero with Sonic Spin Dash ability and Knuckles strength combined into one? Well, here you go, here's Cannon Bolt. Maybe just me, but I'm not too fond of Wildvine's design. I don't know, just something about the head and the way that little thing on top of his head points out, it gives me a vibes of one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen a person would ever have. But other than that, I just think that Wildvine is pretty standard for a plant alien. I mean, it's able to spew out thorns out of its arms. It's able to scratch enemies. The other notable aspect about it is that it's able to pull out bombs out of its back, and it's able to talk to plant life. Because, yeah, that's certainly going to be useful for when you are encountering Earth's plant life. Other than the 4-way splitting jaw in order to shoot out supersonic blast, there's nothing all too special about Ben Wolf. It's just a standard anthropomorphic wolf that, again, looks more at home with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles than with Ben 10. Again, there's nothing too special about Ben Mummy. It's just an Egyptian mummy that's able to shoot out its tape-like tentacles. Who are you again? At least I didn't forget you. For all the wrong reasons. Other than Ron Paulson's voice and the fact that he's the only alien to not have a time limit, instead it requires all the clones to come together in order for Ben to turn back into human, there's nothing all too special about Ditto. While it's not my personal top 10 favorite aliens, and I do find it a bit disgusting as it would eat something and then throw it back up, the fact that it throws up something and then turns it into a bomb that explodes is pretty, memorable to say the least. Not bad. But Gunkyu is still my absolute favorite fictional alien slash monster based on eyes. Listen, as much as I love a good Ultraman reference slash homage, and Weibig here is certainly no exception, I gotta admit, I don't really like Weibig's face, especially those two things at the bottom half of his face. Like, what are those two things at the bottom half of his face? It's kind of disgusting, really. And I'm glad that in future series slash sequels they got rid of it and had a much more sleeker-esque design. Because, like I said, I don't hate Weibig, as I do love a good Ultraman reference and homage, which Weibig is. But I do think the design could have been improved upon, and I'm glad that future series and sequels delivered on that department.